guys,
Hey,
welcome to Chorizo Talk.
Pleasure to be here, man.
Please, you're known.
Yeah, somewhat known. I'll introduce myself. I'm Miles Bergen. I've lived in Reno my whole life. I grew up in Lake Tahoe, and a little bit kind of about me. And the reason why kind of Joel mentioned about your podcast was he shared about you having a story on here of somebody talking about the thing of mental health, right?
yes.
For me, since about 2018, I worked in, so full disclosure, kind of give you a background. I went to school at UNR. I went and worked in journalism and eventually got a job at Channel 4. So I was working at Channel 4 as a reporter, anchor, forecaster. I was contracted for about 2 years. Yeah, back when I actually had hair. And so that's why I wear a hat all the time. Under contract, you can't have facial hair. Like, unless you're like an adult, like you got to be like an old looking guy. And if you're an old looking guy, like you can wear the mustache, you can do the beard. Some guys can do it. They're a little bit more flex on it now. But back under my contract was you could only have facial hair if it was for charity. So you'll see some guys do like No Shave November and they'll raise money for charity or to bring awareness to certain things. And like I looked at different charities and there's one called Movember. It was at the time, it literally was just an awareness campaign where guys would shave their mustaches down and they would grow facial hair throughout the month of November to bring awareness to men's health. It was strictly about like men's health, like men's health kind of goes under the radar. Men don't talk about things. In 2020, I had a really close friend of mine, like friend that I've known since preschool. He took his life.
Oh,
Yeah, so he took his life on his own accord, and it was during 2020, and it was during COVID, it was during all this rough stuff. And I wasn't taking my health seriously. If you look back at old clips of when I was on Channel 4, you'll see I'm very bloated, very like chunky, very just like looking like exhausted. And mind you, I'm going through substance abuse, all this stuff, really bad relationship with food and just lifestyle. And so when I find out my friend passed away, the only way I could cope with it was I wanted to do a net positive by working out. So I lived over near McQueen High School. So I would go, and it was during COVID. And so nobody on the McQueen High School track was out there. It was summertime. So I'd literally just go and the gate was always open and I'd go and run a mile. I'd throw on a podcast, run 2 miles, 3 miles. Eventually it came to a point where 2020 hit that point where I said, you know what? I want to do this again. I want to raise money for charity. So I shaved my everything down and I thought, I'm going to set myself with a big goal to try to raise money for charity. I thought, why don't I do this? Why don't I run 8 miles a day? 8 miles a day.
Jesus.
Work out every single day for 30 minutes at least. Run 8 miles a day. I started running 8 miles every day. That's a lot. So I ran 8 miles every single day. And so the thing I was talking about today with Joel too was I mentioned about social media is such a weird thing where it takes a lot of guts to post your watch. It takes a lot of guts to post in your mirror to show that you're actually working on your health. So I wanted to kind of do this thing where I was involved in a charity, but also breaking my own stigma of like, I'm working out for me, but the men's health aspect of it is that anybody should be able to feel comfortable in their own skin enough to share. What came from that was I started running. I ran over 240 miles for the month of November and I raised like $300. So I was like, okay, $300, cool, to charity. 2021 rolls around and I'm prepping for Movember. I'm running throughout the year. My health's in a good spot. I'm losing a lot of weight. I'm staying active in the gym. A friend of mine named Max Vinci, and we can actually tag the Max Vinci Foundation in this. He got diagnosed with cancer in July of 2021. He was dead by September. Yeah. So he has this really rare cancer called nut carcinoma. It mainly affects young adults with cancer. So that year in 2021, I thought, okay, he had just died in October and I said, I know what I need to do this year. So I put on a charity 5K for him in about mid-November of 2021. A lot of people showed up, friends, family, people that I knew, like all came and supported. We all set up at Chrissy Collin Park, ran around Reno High School. And it was a lot of things that kind of went into it. And all of it went to the Movember Foundation in honor of Max, which was cool. And then his parents then let me know that they want to start a foundation for Max. And so they start the Max Vinci Foundation coming from this event, which is really cool. And they said, do you want to be on the board? So I got on the board. And so now I'm sitting on the board for both Movember as an ambassador and the Max Vinci Foundation. This story's got levels.
Man, you got me going with my mouth open. If you see me.
So then we raised over $2,500 that year just for Movember, not even for their foundation. So then that next year, due to my own substance abuse issues, I go into treatment. I come out and I decide I'm only going to run 4 miles a day. So did that, but still raised over $800. Then 2024 comes around and the Max Vinci Foundation finally becomes a foundation. And I asked his parents, I said, do you mind if any amount that I raise for Movember, can I pay out of my pocket to give you funds for Max? And they said, absolutely. So last year I raised $1,085 and I gave $1,085 of my own money to the Max Vinci Foundation.
You matched it.
I matched it. Yeah. And the original amount was only going to be $750, but every year it always over exceeds. And to kind of, obviously those are great things to success on. But the real thing about the Movember Foundation is that the biggest stigmatism when it comes to guys and their mental well-being and their men's health, and strictly just men's health in general, is it's hard to talk about. Right?
Yes, definitely.
It's one thing for guys to go into the gym, lift a bunch of weights, feel good about themselves, but still at the end of the day, go home and feel lonely. And I think that's something that goes really stigmatized, is that men themselves can work on themselves, but at the end of the day, they can still feel that sense of loneliness. There's no camaraderie when it comes to that. So when I looked deeper into the Movember Foundation of the cause and the reason why I went behind it, the amounts that go and the donations that go, I started getting invoices at the end of every November saying, where was my money going? And I got this email from the year in 2021 that showed exactly where, there was $300 went to this foundation for men that deal with testicular cancer. Another 300 went to guys who maybe aren't educated on prostate cancer. So it went for men's testicular cancer, prostate cancer, suicide awareness, and suicide prevention programs all across the world, which is so cool, right? But that made me really think about the aspect of running 8 miles a day ain't cake. It ain't easy to do.
Bro, I can't even run half a mile. Yeah. Can you run that, Joel?
Absolutely not.
See, that's why I'm just like, I'm just gonna run 8 miles.
Yeah. So it was something I had to put myself through pain in order to raise awareness and raise charity. And it's the one thing to have the mustache. I mean, I've had this mustache on my face since 2021. I always make the joke that if I shave this mustache, the Make-A-Wish Foundation shows up at my house, because it's been ingrained not only as part of a charity thing, but it's my whole damn personality's around it. It's one of the things, especially with where I've been at today, where now we are on the second day of November, and I wanted to switch things up this year. So what I did was I decided that 240 miles every year is a lot on a guy. I don't know if my knees are going to give out. I don't know if life's going to throw me a curveball, because there's been times during the times that I'm running 8 miles, by day 20, I'm like, wow, I feel terrible. I feel disconnected from the foundation. I feel disconnected from my own body. I'm like, what can I do? So I wanted to put it in everyone's court. So this year for Movember, what I'm doing is I'm giving it to people to vote on my Instagram polls. Yeah. Just choose. On October 31st, I made the announcement for the fundraiser, and my fundraising goal for this year is just $500. I always want to stay at 500 because that's a good place to start. I think that when people see the 1,000 number, they get intimidated. I'm looking for awareness. I want people to be involved, because since I started with the foundation back in 2018, I've raised over $5,565 for the foundation.
Nice.
Which is awesome. But at the end of the day, it all is because people learned a little bit about it. And now I want to give it back to the people. I want them to choose how I'm going to hurt myself each day. Literally, right? October 31st, yesterday, I literally gave people an option. Do you want me to run 4 miles today? Do you want me to go for a hike, or do you want me to do a CrossFit workout? So I went and did a CrossFit workout because everyone voted on this poll.
Time?
No.
Oh, I hate CrossFit. I love it. I love it and I hate it. I love it because you get an ass whooping out of it.
Yeah.
It's an amazing sport.
Yeah.
But I hate it because their intro workout is hell.
It is hell.
I'm just like, they're okay, cool. Now we're ready to, we just did our warm-ups. I'm like, that was warm-ups? You gotta be kidding me. I'm done. I'm ready to go home.
I'm already sweating, and I'm already just dreading whatever the heck it is.
Yeah.
The movements are crazy. And I today, literally after this, I'm going to go run 4 miles, because people picked and said, I gave them the option: run 2 miles, run 4 miles, or run 1 mile, and 4 miles won by today. So
just
I said,
put a back screen.
You know what's so funny is at this point, no one's questioned it. They don't question okay, if I'm showing my Apple Watch and they're like, yeah, you can't really fake running 4 miles at an 8-minute, 30-second pace. That's me, man. That's really what I do. And it's I was talking with Joel about this today, and I said, social media is such a weird thing, because we can either use it to be in an anxious state, or we can use it for good. And ever since 2018, I've just literally, most of my content is based around this charity. And most of the time I'm just literally just running. And it's, at the end of the day, it's good for me, but the whole point is to raise awareness that you can do things for yourself today that are going to prevent the mental issues, the therapy.
You got a plate.
I got a plate. I got a plate. I got a bowl. I got a trough. I've got tendencies they're not normal. It's no one normal runs 8 miles a day.
No.
And works out on top of that. And a job, and a full-time job.
And you're going to all this other stuff that you just mentioned.
Yeah.
You make time.
Yeah.
I love that.
Make time.
Dude, wow. Pleasure meeting you, man. Yeah. Just throwing all at me.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
I figure Yeah.
And that was something that we were talking about earlier that I wanted to get on here and talk with you about, because I watched your show with Miggy the other day, and you talked about going through therapy and like doing stuff like that. And I don't think it's talked about enough in society to make men comfortable enough to talk about it and actually do it.
It's literally, like you said, it's thrown in the back burner.
Yeah.
No men really want to say, oh yeah, I went to therapy. A lot of the time we feel like, oh, we're men. We don't need to tell nobody what we're doing. But therapy actually saved my life.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I enjoy it. I like going. Hearing out and speaking out with a group of guys that can play neutral, not take your side.
Exactly.
They'll be like, okay, cool. Well, now let's feel, if you're in this position, how would you feel in their shoes? So now it makes you think and calms you down. It makes me calm down. I don't know how others will feel, but me personally, it calmed me down. It made me think another way. But therapy, I'm glad therapy is here. And if anybody asks me, you should go to therapy. If you feel like you can't speak with somebody, or you need to speak to somebody privately, that you need to just go and obviously pay and all that goody good stuff, cool, do it. I tell you to go, because it's going to help you out and you're going to come out feeling relieved. Or
100%.
like right now, we can talk about it, feel comfortable knowing the fact that you're going to feel relieved. But the difference is now is a lot of people are going to hear it.
Exactly.
It's not going to be closed doors. So you have an option of being private, or an option of letting everybody know your story that somebody can relate to. I don't think someone can relate to 8 miles a day though. That one's nuts, bro. My joints are done for. I don't know how I honestly, so much props to you for saying you can run 8 miles a day. Bro,
Yeah.
today is 4.
Yeah, today's just 4. But you know what's crazy is too, you can look at guys like Cam Hanes and David Goggins. The obsession of it is lonely. And that's something kind of goes back to the men's health aspect, is that like 8 miles is just me and my thoughts or whatever music's playing. And that's not even enough to cut through the surface. But when you're doing things on your own, when you're trying to get in shape on your own, you're trying to get into a space where you want to feel there. You're like, there's times when I've tried to get healthy and didn't know how to go about it. Like where I'm like, how the heck do I meal prep? Do I need to be counting my macros? Like all these little things that you're like, I'm doing this for me, but it still can feel so isolating to do that, right? Where you're going to the gym at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're lifting heavy for about an hour and a half, and then you're just like exhausted, and all you're left is just a shell of your body, right? And so that's something that's been different, is where I've started kind of, if I'm going to go and do something, I try to mix it in with something that I'm doing with another person, whether that's a coach, whether it's a group, whether it's a class. Like there's a reason why run clubs are now running amok, I think, because people are realizing that it's one thing to be running on a consistent basis by yourself, but it's another to be running with other people and having conversation.
Yeah.
I think that's something too. I mean, when we're in the gym or working out, we're focused on ourselves for a hot minute. But like Joel was sharing me about today, how he was working out the other day, and a guy was just in his ear being like, bro,
Oh my
lift.
goodness.
Like Bobby's in his ear, just like that's, but
Oh.
like, think about that. Like, imagine if somebody was in your ear being like, you won't fucking go to therapy, but so I think that's one thing when guys find camaraderie, but at the end of the day, men's health should never be about the individual. It should always be about the collective of dudes, because especially in the state of the world where we're in, like it's, as being a seriously like a white straight dude, it's hard. Like my problems don't matter towards the person that's oppressed. Like, don't get me wrong. But at the end of the day, I got my boys that I know that can support me through this, like I call Joel every single day, and
That's
Joel's lifting maxes, and I'm sitting there like, oh, I'm gonna go run, and he's like, cool, man, I just 300 something. It's one of those things. It's different, but there's a common respect for what we're doing, because we know that there's a benefit to taking our health seriously. In their 60s and their 70s, and they're in walkers and everything, they've been beat down,
dude.
and you're like, there's a reason for it. The only way you can prepare for tomorrow is by doing it today.
Agree. You got to
We've
conquer.
gone through a lot of the same shit too, like being able to lift each other up and talk about it to each other, you know what I mean? It makes it seem a lot easier. And like, I've been suicidal before, you know what I mean? I've tried to encourage people to like go to therapy, and they're like, oh no, I tried that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, well, what about this? Or what about this? The best therapy that I ever had was to some lady on the phone. I would talk to her for an hour every week, and just being able to get it out and like make it real, and then get that non-biased opinion back and some like educated guidance on how to deal with it, gave me a whole new perspective on life. And I was telling him earlier too, you know, one of the strongest things that like really hit me was like when, if I was to do it, all the pain, everything that I was going through, I'm passing on to everybody that I love or that loves me.
Yeah, that's
Now
great.
it's their pain to deal with. And at the end of the day, that's the most selfish thing that I could do. Instead of going and actually finding help and working on that side of me. You know what I mean? I spent a week at the VA getting help, getting on medication, and like doing all these things. And over the course of 4 years now, I've been sober almost 5.
Nice. Congrats.
Dude, I haven't taken any medication.
Just working out.
Just working out, you know, and like he said, not only working on the physical health part, you know, but taking care of like my body, going to the doctor and like getting the oil change, right? Getting the blood work done and like getting all the things checked out to make sure my body is working the way that it's supposed to be doing. Because I could be in the gym for 2 hours, an hour a day, 3 hours a day. And it doesn't matter, dude, if, you know, I got a heart murmur or brain cancer, like, or prostate cancer or testicular cancer, like, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, I'm just going to kill myself and I'm not getting checked out by the doctor.
That's a way to put it.
You know, everything that I'm doing in the gym doesn't matter because I'm going to be laid up in a hospital bed if I'm not getting things checked out, making sure that I'm good.
Making sure you're 100.
So I can continue to do this, right? Like you said the other day, we got kids, man. Like we could sit here and do this stuff that we love all day long, but if our health is deteriorating, what good are we for anybody?
Exactly. Especially little ones that look up to us. They see us come home and then they just want to surround the love, which is one of the most important things that I think everybody should understand when it comes to, yes, you're not alone. You're definitely not alone. Yeah. We all been through it. We all been into different situations. Some of us have different stories than the others, but some of them can be to where it could kind of relate. But at the end of the day, you have to be happy with yourself too, to accomplish your goals. If not, then you're just going to be in this dark hole constantly. But enjoying the fact of hearing how you came at it saying you were suicidal. Suicidal is no joke. You lost a friend through that. That's something that who knows what the mind is running through at that time, right? Yeah. Your mind is just running at a different speed from others that can be thinking, oh, why are you this? Why are you suicidal? They're just trying to shoot you down, but they're not really understanding or hearing what's really going down that is making you feel so dark. They don't reach out to try to help, get to know you. They just, how was your day? Oh, okay, cool. The fuck, bro? Like, I need a hug, bitch.
Yeah, but I think it's hard is that people don't get to that point where you're just like, you know what? I'm not doing good. I think because we don't want anyone to feel the burden. I think we don't want people to feel the burden. And I've done that where I put the mask on and just been like, yeah, everything's good. And then I'm just like, no, something's off. And when something's off, people freaking know now. And it's like, but I think we just don't want, we get nervous to let people in too.
That is one of the main things because we feel we're going to be judged. In the Hispanic culture, they call you maricon, like, you know, just throw you down, throw your self-esteem down. So like you said, we put on the mask.
Put on the mask.
But take the mask off. Just speak out for once.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be too, a lot of the times it is tough to speak out to your significant other.
Yeah.
You're somebody that loves you and cares for you because it's tough. I was in that position to where I couldn't open up to her. Not one bit. I felt it would have probably started an argument or she would understand what I'm saying or I would want to hear her tell me that I'm right and she's wrong.
Yeah.
But hearing it from somebody saying, okay, you're right, but you're wrong too. Oh shit, okay. Tell me how I'm right and tell me how I'm wrong at the same time. Yeah. So hearing it from somebody else, sometimes it lightens up and smooths it out better. It helps out. It's just crazy how not a lot of people have this topic.
I will sit here and tell you couples therapy might be the most eye-opening thing ever. We started doing it. So I have a fiance. We're getting married literally next Saturday. Thank you. Las Vegas. And, you know, I talked with Joel about this, but couples therapy, like it's one thing because, you know, you go through your own issues, your own things that you have, but especially when you're living life with somebody, it's a completely different thing because the stuff you may be going through, you're not feeling comfortable to talk about with your partner. Like you're just like, I'm going through some things, I'm having some strong feelings, but you know that it's like, you can't tell them everything you feel because you don't, well, one, you either want to or you don't want to, but couples therapy, I honestly think has been also really helpful where you have a third person mediate listening and going, here's my thoughts.
I agree. I had couples therapy myself as well.
Yeah.
Shit, hearing that person tell her, I was like, Give
Yeah.
it to her. And then he came to me. I'm like, fuck, don't give it back.
Yeah, you're like,
But-
I thought you were on my
Yeah,
side.
you were on my side. We were bros. We fucking high five.
Oh, yeah. It cracked open so much. It has cracked open so much for us. And it's funny, Joel actually gave me this advice, and then my therapist gave me this advice. Was talking about the circle of a relationship. He goes,
Steve Harvey, bro.
Steve Harvey. He was saying Steve Harvey literally said, you got this circle. And anytime you let someone in that circle, the circle breaks a little bit. That's helped so much. Because we have let people in, and you try to like paint shop. You're like, let's bring your friend in. Let's bring this guy. Like, you try to bring all these people in, and it never goes well. But it's a different thing, especially when you're talking about really strong feelings and issues.
Yeah. Hi, guys. I'm Joel, and I was fucking suicidal.
No, and I've been divorced twice too, man. And like, that's why I gave him that recommendation, because the relationship that I'm in now, my partner she's absolutely incredible. You know what I mean? And she provides that space for me to open up. And something that I emphasized to her when we first got together too was like, a lot of people in relationships that communicate with one another, they only listen to respond, and they don't listen to understand how the other person is feeling. When you're telling me something, you're listening, I'm listening to you so I can formulate a response in my brain instead of truly trying to understand how the situation made you feel, right? When you're listening to somebody to truly understand, then it changes the outcome of the entire conversation. That's effective communication, in my opinion, right? And so, like I said, I've been divorced twice. I learned everything not to do. If you ever want to know if something's a bad idea, I probably know that it is. But that's ultimately made me the person that I am today and the kind of partner that I am today. I'm not perfect by any means, but I wake up every day and I choose her first. You know what I mean? I choose her day in and day out. And the thing about Steve Harvey, right? He said, you got this circle. You and your partner, you form this circle. You don't let your mom in. You don't let your friends in. You don't let anyone in because they're going to ruin it, right? And it rings true because, like, if you go vent to your single buddy and you're like, oh, my wife's doing this, she's doing that, blah, blah, blah. You're seeing, oh, F that B, like,
Yeah. Let's go take a shot.
and then you're, and then in your mindset, you're like, yeah, like, yeah, fuck her, like, whatever, blah, 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 and then it just makes things worse.
It does.
You know what I mean? So, and then on top of that, there's always going to be somebody, and it may not even necessarily be a friend, it may be a coworker, right? I take the perspective of like, I go to work. I don't go there to make friends, right? If I go there and I try to make friends, one of them gets jealous of my life, and then they want something from my life. They try to sleep with my girl. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know these people.
Exactly.
You go there to work. And that's the whole part of the circle that you're trying to keep intact. You can't let anybody in.
Yeah.
You form this strong bond with your wife, your husband, whatever, and it's you two against the world.
It's amazing how, like you said, it has to be you two against the world. Because I can tell you so many people that I know of, they have, like you said, family members bugging in, friends bugging in, and it's always a constant fight. Not a healthy one bit. At the end of the day, this is your life between you and that partner. So you got to make that be your priority. Everybody else will follow and support it. If they don't support or anything, then there ain't nobody that should be around.
Hell no. I support my good friend Mark running his 4 miles every day, and I got your back.
But it's a lot of things that all kind of play into a factor. But that's why, yeah.
So you were Channel 4.
Yeah.
Not no more?
Not no more. No. 2021.
2021.
2021. Yeah.
Any crazy things going into work?
Oh.
You're like,
I'm-
all right, top 5.
I went to O.J. Simpson's parole hearing in Lovelock, Nevada. Yeah. I went to O.J. Simpson's parole hearing just as a photographer. So I worked my way up the ladder there. I was just a weekend editor. Then I became a news photographer. But back when he was on Seeking Parole, not only did our channel go out there, every national channel, CNN, Fox News, you name it, was all out there at Lovelock Correctional Center for O.J. Simpson's parole hearing. I didn't get an opportunity to see Juice himself, but I was very aware of the O.J. Simpson situation. This was because of the situation that happened with him at the Station Casino in Las Vegas. When I was literally born, my mom was watching the O.J. Simpson trial in 1993, 1994. So that was a cool one. I went out to Paradise, California when the fires broke out, Paradise and Magalia. Truth be told, it has played a huge factor in my mental well-being because the stuff I saw has caused a lot of post-traumatic stress. It's one of the things that a lot of our firefighters see, but the stuff I saw out there, it just was like, imagine a town just completely destroyed by a fireball. It blows my mind. So I went out to Paradise, California, and Magalia, and that's like where Joel's neck of the woods is from. So everybody was down in Chico in this Walmart parking lot. It was a refugee camp of a zombie apocalypse. We had to change the air filter in our news vehicle twice because of how bad the smoke and inhalation was in our car. It was nuts. So definitely seen a lot of that. I've been to a number of presidential rallies and stuff like that, met some candidates and things of that nature. Been to a lot of wildfires out here in northern Nevada mainly. And yeah, I mean, it was just nuts. And I tell people that they took my hair because it was a very stressful thing. When I was doing a lot of that and was being just a photographer, you know, those guys you see with the big cameras.
Yeah.
You see when they pull up big cameras, everything. And so, you know, there was really awesome things that happened, but it was a grind every single day. So like I'd get into work as a reporter, I'd get into work around like 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. I'd have to have a story ready for 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, we'd go over it. I'd have to then go call people, get stories, get interviews, write it, shoot it, edit it, have it ready by 4 o'clock, be live on air at 4 o'clock, live on air at 5 o'clock, live on air at 6 o'clock, possibly be around for some breaking news that'll happen at 11, make sure something's left for the morning. That was every single day.
Holy shit.
It looks like fun, right?
You just made it seem not fun at all.
You can literally quote me on this. I'm still verified on Twitter and everything and on Facebook. It is not for the faint of heart. I got to the point where I had a contract that was anchor reporter forecaster. And let me tell you something, let your dreams die, kids, because it's not fun. It was not. It was, but don't get me wrong, like there were positives, but a lot of it was negative. And so when it came to a point where I was having a contract negotiation, I wanted to have the anchor desk and the weather reporter side of it because I wanted to be in studio, because sometimes it's a lot to be out there. When you're in studio, all you have to do is just read the teleprompter, tell about it, talk about weather and things like that. So I did that from 2019 to 2021.
Gosh.
It was a lot, man.
And still running?
It's still like, yeah. I mean, things were at that time. So I started running seriously in 2020.
Okay.
So here's the funny thing, and I'll show you this. But when I first was on air in 2019, you can see how I just looked unhealthy. And then 2020 November rolls around, you're like, that's a different dude. Like the suits I had tailored for me didn't fit anymore. That's the type of stuff, like how much running impacted my life, where I was literally just like, I'm just gonna run like I'm like crazy. And so I was growing like my pencil like pedo mustache, and that's the thing is initially what Movember is about. Was initially it was like shave your face down and grow a mustache, and only a mustache for an entire 30 days to bring awareness to men's health. And so that's the whole point, was it's very uncomfortable, it looks weird, and some people can't even grow mustaches, and it's just like, even if you just try. So this thing has stayed on my face since I left news in 2021, and I will probably never shave it.
You shouldn't, bro. It literally suits you.
Yeah, it's my personality. Like, I'm a bald-headed guy with a mustache. Like, I'm close to a white supremacist if somebody saw me the wrong way.
He's
Yeah, funny, but it's like I'm a typical white dude with a mustache. And people are like, oh, I saw this guy that looked like you. I'm like, dude, I literally look like every NPC character from your favorite video game. You could literally draw my ass up in GTA 3. It does not even matter. But yeah, so news was cool and stuff like that. But true story, like, it took a lot out of me. I was unmedicated, not going to therapy, just running and gunning, being a complete fool with my money and my time and all this stuff. And I forgot. That's one of the things, like going back to what we said, like I was so concerned about my climbing the corporate ladder, doing all the things, vanity, because we wore makeup. So my hair was receding and I was putting in hair makeup.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. So like here, literally, the station is just down the block.
Yeah, it's right here.
Literally right there on Vassar Street. We all would do our makeup. So a lot of that's 4K cameras, like HD cameras. And so every little blemish would be seen. We have lights on you and everything. So we literally could show you how to put on makeup, like literal like foundation and then hair makeup. So that's why when you see guys and you're like, oh, their hair looks like Lego hair, they probably have makeup on.
No shit.
I'm cracking open the code of news and television.
You want to tell them about the car?
Let's talk about a car. Yeah.
No, I don't mind telling the story because it is
public.
It is public record. Okay, so I mentioned that I left news in 2021. I didn't leave on my own accord. Back during COVID, we were allowed to take news vehicles home, and I lived out in Cold Springs. So Cold Springs from here is about 30 minutes. I was in Florence, Alabama, and if you know where Florence, Alabama is, I'm sorry for you, but it's a freaking hellhole in the middle of nowhere near Decatur, Alabama. It's not even close to Tuscaloosa or anything. And I'm out there partying with some buddies, and I come home, and somehow during my partying, my chief meteorologist hit me up and said, hey, do you want to do the morning show on Monday? And I said, yeah, absolutely, because, I'm feeling myself. I get home and it's like getting home on Sunday at 7 o'clock. Now, if you're doing a morning show in news, you have to be in the station by at least 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Damn early, right? So they're in there at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning. Those morning people are in there early. My alarm goes off. It is now probably like 3:45, almost 4 o'clock in the morning. And I live in Cold Springs, so I'm 30 minutes away. And I have to build a forecast because I said I would cover the morning show. Drive in, putting on the makeup, putting on my tie and everything in the car. Not well, mind you. And I get into the studio and I start making a forecast for that week. It was January, so we were expecting snow the next day, all this stuff. So pretty stuff that you can't just like skate over, like, oh, it's going to be sunny, like no big deal. No, it was like actual forecasts I had to do. And I told myself, I said, I'm not going to drink any coffee. I'm just going to power through this. My performance was subpar. Mind you, I showed up to work late. My performance on air was really subpar. I looked like complete trash on air. Hair, makeup didn't look good. I'm all dolled up. And so I had to do, Channel 4 is a monopoly. So it has channel NBC4 from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. And then from 7 to 9, it's on Fox. So I had to do 4 hours of weather back to back for 4 hours, like nonstop work. Like I'm literally trying to like come off of everything. And so I then, news is over, everything's done, sigh of relief. I said, all right, I'm going to go home. I'm driving my news vehicle home up on 395 right near Red Rock. And I fall asleep behind the wheel, veer off the side of the road. And mind you, I was asleep, but I rolled several times in a news vehicle. So a vehicle with the number 4 and 11 on it, people see this and it's like, boom. So it rolls down this ravine. Luckily, because I was asleep, I didn't get a single scratch on me.
They say that.
Yeah.
Just like from the movie
I was asleep. Yeah. I was literally asleep throughout it. And it was the craziest thing because
Eventually I was sitting there and I was screaming for help because I started smelling smoke and gas and all this stuff. And I felt the vehicle roll back over. Some guy opens the door, pulls me out. And then a bunch of people are like helping on the side of the road. Mind you, at this time, there's an NDOT camera and all news stations do this. They report about the travel impacts. Are there any travel impacts? So every station in Reno is saying there's a rollover car accident happening with the camera showing on a News 4 vehicle. On like Channel 8, on Channel 2.
You're
all this
famous.
stuff. So, but the even crazy part was the guy who pulled me out of the news vehicle, helped me up to the top. And I remember it so distinctly. He goes, this is going to sound crazy. Because I was still wearing all my suit and everything and my makeup. He goes, I was watching you on TV like 30 minutes ago. What the heck happened?
Hell yeah.
It was crazy. I get checked by REMSA and then eventually I need to go to the hospital just for evaluation. And yeah, it was a crazy freaking story. I got let go because of poor performance, time card fraud, and destruction of company property. It was like $32,000 in company property. So that's how my news career ended. It literally went down in flames.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Journalists like to party. Yeah, it's.
Oh, you partied.
I have no shame in sharing that stuff because I hope it gives someone a perspective that if they are genuinely either they're going through substance abuse or mental health issues or things like that, man. Luckily, nobody got hurt. I didn't hit any cars. All I did was hit a barrier and nothing happened to me besides a lot of obviously post-traumatic stress issues that kind of came to light after the fact. To be honest, it was probably the worst thing that's ever happened to me, but also the best thing that's ever happened to me because it gave me an opportunity to really look at my life. Like my whole identity was being a news guy, was being a public figure, wearing a suit every day, telling the weather. Like it was my whole identity and it was stripped from me after just me making some bad mistakes. And so I had to find that identity again. And eventually I luckily work for an awesome marketing agency here in town called the Abbey Agency. And it's been an awesome thing that they gave me an opportunity to show what I can do outside of news. And yeah, it's a different life that I live now. No way in hell would I have hand tattoos being a news journalist.
Yeah, that's why.
But it's different and it shocks people. But I could tell you that who I was back in 2021 is very different than who I am today. And it all takes practice, putting yourself and your health first and just working on it every little day just to make yourself a little bit better.
Yeah, no. You hit rock bottom.
I've hit rock bottom so many times, man. I love the feeling of the shovel. I love digging my own hole. I love digging multiple holes. And so it was one that was like career-wise, yeah, that was my rock bottom. Career-wise.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine, so the crazy thing about that is after you leave a position of being a public figure, whether you are a congressperson, whether you're that, if you disappear off the face of the earth, people start to ask questions, right?
Yeah.
So the amount of people, and being from a small town, being raised up in Incline, and obviously being from around Reno here, people started asking my parents and friends, like, why is Miles not on TV anymore? Like, we don't see him anymore. And yeah, then it just was like, yeah, I just left. So people want to know about it, that's what really happened. I have no shame in it. It's a part of my life, and it has played a huge role in who the heck I am today. And I'm not ashamed to share that. So if you're working on television, please blink twice if you see me, because you're being held at gunpoint. It's so funny because people will ask, is there such thing as journalism that's good? I'm like, everything is perspective, man. That's all I really know about.
That is crazy. I
Yeah.
never thought I would meet somebody that did the news and flipped a car.
And flipped a car.
And came out
lived to tell the tale.
non-hurt.
Oh, my
shit.
brain, maybe.
You're probably like, is my makeup good?
I literally, at that time, all I thought was, oh man, I hope the camera's not in the back. Like, I literally would just only cared about the company property. Like, it was just
Fuck the camera. The whole car's gone.
am I okay? Nah, but it was one of those things. But it's a story that I like to share with people because it happens. You know?
Man, you should have told the guy that pulled you out, since he saw you just 30 minutes. You want my autograph? You want my autograph?
Yeah, I'd be like, how much money can I give you to say that to my boss so I
Yeah.
can keep my job? No.
Yeah.
But luckily, you know, I was able to reach out to a number of people that I worked with and was able to just let them know, like, hey, I apologize. I clearly made mistakes. And I went into the office a few days after that and was let go. And I left there and I just sat there and I just listened to what they had to say, took my termination. I said, totally understand. Left on that term. Yes, I left on bad terms, but you know, I was so shameful about it. And shame plays a huge part in, I think, a lot of people's lives, is we're so shameful of the littlest things. If we raise our voice or if we do these little stuff, and I was so shameful about it. But now it's come to a point that it's been so kind of far removed from who I am now that I don't even sweat about it. Honestly, I make jokes about it. I always tell people when they get in the car with me, I said 50% chance of surviving.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Literally need to take the wheel. I mean, yeah. So it's one of those things, and I share it more now than I have in recent. But it's a good one to bring up.
Yeah, it's just now living it up,
Yeah,
enjoying life.
Life's just good, man. Life's good. I'm happy. I'm healthy. I'm getting married.
That's the best part.
Same. Joel's happy. He's healthy. He's getting married.
Here.
Oh yeah, man.
You see how stacked he is? What are you, 6'2"?
6'4".
6'8" on a good day. That was cool thing was Joel sharing his story with me, where he was like, him and his fiance were sitting down. They're like, you know what we should do? We should do a competition. And then they just locked in for a year. And then they competed in the Tahoe show.
Yeah.
That's another thing that men don't talk about, right? Is having low testosterone, man.
Yeah, man.
My man. Yes.
I felt
Yes.
like shit for years, bro.
Yeah.
And then I started going to the doctor and started like digging into it. Going to the VA it's not easy to get testosterone from them bastards, dude.
Yeah.
And they made me do a sleep study. I had to wear a CPAP machine for 6 months. And Sandra's sleeping next to me. She's like, take that damn thing off. You sound like...
Fucking Darth
Darth-
Vader.
So I had to wear that for 6 months. And then they wanted me to make sure I was taking vitamin D, because all those things can lower your testosterone.
Yeah.
And they want to make sure that that's not the cause of it. And so I'm doing all these things, and then they finally start prescribing it to me. And I started going back to the gym. I was like, I don't even feel like I know what the hell I'm doing anymore. And I told her, I was like, let's get a coach. I was like, I want to compete. She's like,
Heck yeah.
all right, let's go. And we just switched on, dude.
The light just went, because then
Yeah.
you guys did great. Your Tahoe show,
Yeah.
heck yeah, dude.
And working out for a show, for me, it's a completely different mindset and a completely different perspective than just going to the gym to lift, and like, because you don't have a goal. You're like, oh yeah, I want to get big, but then that's like your only goal is to like get bigger. But how much bigger? You can't see that, right?
Facts.
I can see that on a calendar. Like, I got this many months to get as big as I can.
Every week counts.
Every day counts.
Yes.
I can't miss a day. I can't miss a meal.
Every meal,
Every meal
every
counts.
cardio counts. But for us doing the bodybuilding, we really don't run.
No, we don't.
Do majority Stairmaster, or
Yep.
we walk in the incline.
Oh
2.5 miles an hour at 15%. I got it.
Locked in,
nice.
locked in. Because like they say, too much running will deter muscle. And the point of bodybuilding is to go in with as much as muscle.
Well, and your heart rate too.
Has
So
to be at a certain time.
that changes a lot, right? If your heart rate gets above a certain level,
You start burning muscle.
you start burning muscle.
That's right. We were talking about the lactic acid thing, and you can feel that. You know when you're just cooking at 180 BPMs and you're just not even gaining back any muscle.
Well, and I naturally have a lower heart rate too. So when I first started doing cardio, my heart rate would get up to like 130 and I was burning muscle. So I got to keep mine down at like 120 because my heart rate's slow anyway.
That is
Naturally.
crazy.
So I got to keep it low, which once I get on the treadmill and start moving, it raises pretty quickly, but I can't let it raise too high, otherwise it'll start burning muscle.
That's crazy how the body is, especially like
Crazy.
everybody's body is totally different. So you can't go off of that person's workouts, cardio, meals, injecting, or whatever it is that has to come to it. They have to be themselves because you are toward there, especially at 6'4".
After the show, man, I put on 40 pounds real quick.
Looking thick, boy. Looking good. Looking real good.
Eating, man.
I love that.
But
Because you guys are on such a strict regimen of a diet that you're
Yeah.
just like, yeah, Joel was eating spinach, ground beef, rice, like, you know, the good. And then like, I remember when you guys were done, we're like, we finally can eat donuts and chicken wings. You guys were like,
well, that's what I thought was funny too. So you were talking with Miggy about how you have, he's got a lot of clients that are like veer away from the diet, and they're like, oh, like, you know, eating this here and this there, and then they come do the scan and they're wondering why their scans. And I was like,
Yeah.
because you ate tacos for dinner.
Yeah.
And then I asked Miggy yesterday, I was like, bro, I was like, how often do you have a client that is too strict? Because like I served in the military, you know, he gives me a list of food and that's what I eat.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a minute, bro, you don't put bell peppers in your ground beef or anything? I'm like, no, it's not on the list.
Yeah. I do the same thing.
It's not on the list, bro. I can't. He's like, you can do that. I'm
Give me
like, well,
some
no,
film.
me.
Motherfucker.
I've been eating plain ground beef and rice for months, every day.
You gotta
for
drink it
months.
down with water. I've been there plenty of times.
yeah, no
My
spice.
man, nothing good.
Crazy.
What is gonna be your charity, your next charity, or it started yesterday?
Currently happening. Yeah, man.
So yesterday. Well, you said yours was No Shave November.
So yeah, so it's Movember. People do, there is a no shave November, which kind of people do.
November.
November, you know, sober October, people do all these things. But Movember itself is for just the mustache. It's for literally just to the mustache is such a weird thing because not everybody has it and not everyone can grow it, but when you try to, it kind of can look weird. Well, that's the whole point. Is it brings about the awareness of men.
Yes.
Just men's health. And one of the biggest things too, especially when it comes to this, of course, is on the medical side of it, which is, you know, testicular cancer and prostate cancer. Like people say you got to get your prostate checked at like the age 50. No, bro, go get your butthole checked now.
Yep.
Feel your freaking nuts. You never know. Like if you're like, you know what, my nuts look weird. Like just go feel your freaking nuts. Go get a physical done because I think a lot of those things you don't realize can play a huge impact. Like if you're again, testosterone plays a huge factor in that. Your
Yes.
testosterone, your life's living. Like prostate cancer can lead to so many more things. And
Agree.
that plays a huge part into it. But then at the end of the day, it's all about just dudes supporting dudes.
Yeah.
That's really all it really is.
It literally is.
So like I implore people that if they want to learn more about it, like Movember is definitely one of the leading foundations to date. It's been super exciting. But Pringles reached out to about, I think myself specifically, about last year. They said, hey, can we sponsor a day of your Movember challenge?
Nice.
So they said, can we sponsor a day and we'll match up to $200 in donations?
Nice.
So I said, oh, cool. Well, that gives people, you should donate because if I raise $200 in this one day, Pringles, the company, will match a donation. It's really been awesome that companies are now reaching out to ambassadors who work for foundations. They're like, let's chip in some money. So now the Movember and Pringles have now combined. So now you may see in some stores a Pringles can that has a missing mustache, and it's to bring awareness for Movember. So if you see a Pringles can missing a mustache,
Grabbing that.
isn't
I'm
that
all.
cool.
Hell yeah.
I'll grab them all.
So it's cool, like getting an email. You know, I work in marketing, and so I got this email last year. And then
Emailed this
they
dude.
emailed me, and they said, "Hey,
Power of emails.
it's so
Pringles,
cool,
man.
right?" And I just thought it was like a pitch, like because you know when you work in marketing, you get all these emails like, "Oh, try my new AI bot, or whatever." And so Pringles reached out and said, "Hey, we'll sponsor you for 2 days. If you can raise up to $200 on both those days, like we'll match." And then they matched, and then that got me over the finish line to, you know, I had a $750 goal, and it got to 1,085. So it was pretty cool. And yeah, so like literally after this, I'm gonna probably go run 4 miles, and then I'll throw a poll up on my Instagram and see what people choose for the next day, and then the next day, and then the next day. So I'll throw that in there. If people vote for me to go get my prostate checked,
Now you're going to go do it.
catch my ass at Renown getting my ass checked.
People find you on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
That's
So people-
definitely one of the ones.
People can find me on Instagram at Miles J Bergen, and that's at MilesJBuergin. And you can go into my bio where you can donate, and you can also follow me. You can do whatever. You want to DM me if you want to talk more about Movember, you want to talk about news or anything, more than happy to talk with you about it, man. Every person who works at Movember or works with Movember all has a different story. So if you have a story that you think needs to be shared, whether it's suicide awareness, testicular cancer, or prostate cancer, they'd love to hear from you too.
I'm going to find out what I can do to do the same at Diamond.
Yeah?
Do polls. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to do something. I'm going to reach out to you later.
Yeah.
Because I got to go to work right after this. But what was your Instagram again? Because I'm about to do all of that. 'Cause I want everybody to know what's
It's
going down.
at Miles J. Bergen. So Miles
Miles
J
J.
Buergin.
Got you. And then it's called
It's called Movember. So Movember. So it's like November.
Member. Hashtag
Movember.
member.
Yeah. November.
I'm going to put it all already.
Yeah,
So
man.
everybody's going to be hearing it, seeing it.
Love it.
We're going to town with this. Like I said, I'm going to find out what I can do. I'm going to reach out to you guys so I can see what I can do. I want to jump on this thing to support this.
Yeah, man.
Movember.
Hell yeah.
You know,
Just get it going.
Even just talking about it is good. You know, obviously they're one of the leading men's health charities, which is awesome. So people are doing things all across the world. I was mentioning to Joel earlier today, there's a guy who did an entire 70-kilometer run in the shape of a penis to support men's testicular cancer for Movember.
Wow.
He raised money for that run. And there's a number of people, like, so if you see the Movember logo, like on a lot of marathons, so there's a lot of guys who are out there doing different causes for it. My friend Brian, like, he's doing this thing that he does in San Jose called the Movember Barbell Bash, which is a huge CrossFit workout that's now sponsored by Chubby's Shorts.
Oh,
It's
nice.
super cool, right? So like there's people that take this to different levels where I've seen them when they've started and they're just doing simple things each day. Like they're just lifting for 30 minutes every day. They're working out every day, which obviously isn't a good thing, but at the end of the day, they're doing it for charity. So
I'm going to figure it out. 100 squats, air squats, or,
yeah.
just push-ups. Something's going to go down. Starting tomorrow, I'm going to start doing pulls, and for the following day, I'm going to be 2-3 days late, but on the 4th day, we're going.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The best ideas are stolen. Always take them.
It's funny, man. Like I see a lot of people that post stuff. Oh, and for me, what really hits home is like veteran suicide, right?
Yep.
Shit, that's a big one.
A lot of people are like, oh, 22 a day. Like I need to bring awareness and blah, blah, blah. Like I think for men's health, there isn't a lot of awareness. Like veteran suicide, we're all aware.
Yep.
What the hell are you doing about it?
Yep.
Right? We're all aware that it's happening. What are you doing about it?
Facts.
And specifically for like men's health, I don't think it's talked about enough. People are still posting stuff about veteran suicide, and like that's great. Like I fully respect that, but at this point, it's like now it's time to put in some action.
Let's help them out. Let's have
Yeah.
them be heard. You're not alone.
And so with men's health, you know what I mean? There's been this stigma throughout the years, like I said earlier, is like, we shut down. We don't tell anybody about it. Even opening up to your partner, like, hey, I feel like I might have a lump on my balls. Like,
Yeah.
will you feel this? Will you check it and tell me if it feels normal? Like ask your, like, hey, do you think I should go get checked out, But I think we should be more open about it and talk to people about it. And same thing, like I said, having low testosterone, right? I just don't
Because-
like to admit that, bro.
No.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody.
Hell yeah.
Know that it can help out.
Hell yeah.
Our mindset's low. Our energy's low. We're just in a low position.
It affects everything around you. Your job, your relationship,
Yep.
your friendships, the relationship you have with your kids,
Yeah.
your friends, like everything, man.
The whole 9 yards. It really does.
Everything.
But we're going to be bringing it up more, my man.
yeah.
We're going to get this going. We're just getting started.
Hell yeah.
Let's get it. Hashtag Movember. Let's get it, guys.
was
For
lucky
being here.
Chris.
You guys are
bro. Thanks for
amazing.
having us.
Oh, thank you.